Hi there, my name is Mark and I'm a bisexual man. Today I'm going to be talking a bit about some of the examples of biphobia that I have experienced in my life. If you'd like to know about bisexuality, then please come and subscribe. We've got loads of content on the subject. But the first example of biphobia that I have experienced, and one of the worst, is, ooh, bisexual, that's so exotic. There's this idea that bisexual people are promiscuous or open or wild or sexually liberated. Actually, nothing could be further than the truth. If you go by my life, I'm actually the kind of opposite of that. I'm actually on the asexual spectrum as well as the bi spectrum, so there's a lot of crossover there. A lot of us are actually quite shy people, quite anxious people, maybe geeky people. If you know the bi community at all, you will know that that is not the case. We quite enjoy and laugh at this kind of stereotype some of the time, but a lot of the time, unfortunately, there's a darker side to it. If you stereotype people as open, easy, up for it, then what you're doing is you're fetishizing and sexualizing that person. You're making them into an object, and it's no wonder that we have really high rates of sexual abuse, harassment, and other things in our bi community. We are really, really vulnerable to that, and those stereotypes really just feed into it. So please, if you can avoid stereotyping us as exotic, that would be great. The next thing is that people think we're just gay, particularly for bi men. If you say that you're bisexual, people will be like, oh, right, okay, yeah, cool. You're just on a stepping stone towards becoming gay, right? And this is really harmful. It's also really ignorant because statistically, a person is more likely to be bi than they are to be gay. We tend to think that there are more gay people in this world than bi people. It's not the case. Bi is actually the largest identity in the whole LGBT community. So it doesn't really make sense to assume someone's just going to be gay. But a lot of the time, unfortunately, people will use bi as a stepping stone because they're terrified of societal homophobia. Just because some people do that doesn't mean that everybody is doing that. So it's really harmful to suggest that people aren't the identity that they're telling you. If they're telling you that they're bi, just say okay and move on. By the way, if you're struggling with any of this and would like some support, then come and speak to us. You can join us on Patreon. We've got group sessions with other bi people. We've got one-to-one coaching. We've got all kinds of resources. Patreon.com/notdefining. The next thing that people will say is, you're not bi, you're just straight and doing it for attention. Often this is something that's leveled at a lot of bi women. I don't know why. People just can't understand the fact that bi people exist and you have to either be gay or you have to be straight. I think it comes from this idea that we're brought up with, which is that things have to be binary, but it's really, really damaging. It doesn't matter whether you're saying we're gay or whether you're saying we're straight. It's not true. Can you just stop it? Thank you so much. The next thing connected to that is that, oh, I would never date a bi person. Saying that you would never date a bi person is saying that you would never date someone who doesn't know who they are, is likely to cheat, is probably going to run off with someone of a different gender, or someone that is into wild, crazy things. Okay, so basically saying you wouldn't date a bi person is loading all those stereotypes onto them. If you say you won't date a bi person, what it means is that bi people then don't get a chance to have a partner. Yeah, it's really hard dating as a bi person, whether you're into guys or girls or whoever, because even in the gay community, people are, oh, I wouldn't date a bi person. If you actually delve into why you're saying that, you will find that there's a lot of ignorance and stereotyping going on there. The next example of biphobia is when people just forget that bi people and other identities in the community exist. So for example, people will say gay rights. What they actually mean is LGBT rights. People will say gay pride when they mean pride. People will call a same-gender couple a gay couple, or a different gender couple a straight couple. The couple does not have a sexuality. The couple is just a couple, okay? So you can say a male-female couple, or a male-male couple, or a same-sex couple, or same-sex marriage, or same-gender marriage, whatever you want to say, but it's not a gay couple and it's not a straight couple. One of them could be bi, both of them could be bi, right? The next thing connected with that is, I've often heard this said, if you're in a couple, why do you need to talk about being bi? The idea is, well, once you picked your side, then somehow you're not bi anymore and you're either gay or you're straight, or you don't even need to talk about your sexuality because that's offensive to your partner. I talk about being bi whether I'm single or with a partner for one very specific reason. That is because young people growing up do not have bi representation. We need all the role models we can get. I grew up in a world where there was no bi representation. I thought that I was broken. I thought that I was wrong. I thought there was something terrible about me. And if I'd only had someone to look up to and say, hey, this is normal, this is valid, then I would have avoided a lifetime of pain. So it's so important that we are proud in our identity and that we say, hey, you can be bi whether you're with a woman, whether you're with a man, whether you're with the non-binary person or whatever. The next example of biphobia is just people not knowing what bisexuality is. I've had so many wild things leveled at me from people who genuinely don't know how to use Google. Like, there are some people who think that bisexuality means you want to have two partners, right? It's some kind of polygamy or polyamory. It's not, yeah? When you're bisexual, it means your capacity to be attracted to certain genders. Nothing to do with the amount of partners that you have or the partners that you actually have. There are often as well people who get it mixed up with like non-binary or bi-gender or even trans or something like that, and they think that being bisexual is like you have two sexes or you are somehow like some kind of intersex, or it's really, really weird, and it's really, really obvious when you're speaking to someone who has no clue what bisexuality is. It's really, really annoying. And there are other levels of that which are more common. For example, when people kind of say, oh, well, that means you're equally into men and women, or that means, you know, something else. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You can be any way that you are as bi. There are many variations. So that is just so difficult to have to kind of push against the tide of ignorance when you tell people. And finally, the worst example of biphobia, in my opinion, is people saying that you are indoctrinating children. People will say that you can't teach children about bisexuality because you're sexualizing them, or you're confusing them, or it's not appropriate for them. You're grooming them into being bisexual. First of all, I was taught about heterosexuality exclusively as I was growing up, and I didn't turn out straight. There is no evidence to suggest that what you teach children about sexuality in any way impacts on their eventual adult sexuality. Also, if they do turn out as bi, why is that a bad thing? The other thing is like people saying it's confusing and inappropriate. You teach children about heterosexuality, so why is that appropriate? Do you know how easy it is to teach children about bisexuality? Here goes. Hello, child. When you grow up, you might fall in love with another person. Period. End of story. Move on. It's actually more complicated to teach a child about heterosexuality, because you have to say, oh, well, you're a boy, so you can only be with girls, and girls only be with boys, and that's a layer of complexity that children actually can't understand before they're old enough. So bisexuality is more simple and less ridiculous. So don't come at us with that nonsense. Anyway, those are just a few examples of the ridiculous biphobia that I have experienced. Do you have your own examples? I would love to hear them. Please write in the comments. Click that subscribe button because it really helps us out to get our information to the people who need it. And last but not least, if you'd like to know more about dealing with biphobia or other LGBT phobia, then check out this video. And if you would like to find out more about bisexuality, then check out this playlist right here. I will speak to you again soon. I love you lots, and bye for now.